Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, can you guess what I am going to be decluttering today? Yes, you are correct. We are finally going to be tackling my big eyeshadow palettes. Now the way that I have my eyeshadow palettes is organized by brand and in alphabetical order. So that way it's much easier for me to see what I have, and if I'm looking for a specific palette, I know where to grab it from and it's not lost in a drawer or anything like that. This is as well a good cheap way to store your eyeshadow palettes. You don't have to spend an enormous amount of money. I did purchase this bookshelf from Walmart and I believe it was like 30 bucks, but I got it on sale for 25. So if you want to see how I did on this declutter, then just keep on watching. So one thing for sure is that I do need to declutter enough eyeshadow palettes to where I can leave that how it is. So these are all Too Faced Too Faced holiday palettes, which I want to keep that way just so, you know, it looks cute. So I do have a lot to declutter. So let's get into it. We are going to go by brand. So for instance, we're going to start off with the Ace Beauty and Anastasia. As you can tell, I do enjoy keeping the packaging of all my eyeshadow palettes. I guess that's just the collector slash hoarder in me. To be honest, I'm not sure how I'm going to do in this declutter. Hopefully I can at least declutter enough things so that way I can at least fit everything in there. So for the first eyeshadow palette here, we have the Ace Beauty Grandoise. I don't know how to say that palette. This is how it looks on the inside. I have used it a couple times. I do really enjoy the quality. I feel like when it comes to eyeshadow palettes that I only have one of, then it's fine to keep. They do have a little bit of fallout, but I don't mind because the pigmentation is there. So I am going to keep this. And before I forget, I am going to put how many palettes I have in total, and then we'll see what our final total is. Alright, so now going to my Anastasia palettes. I did get all of these this past year, so I'm not going to get rid of them. I do enjoy them. This is what the Self-Made palette looks like. I probably will declutter this at the end of the year if I don't get any more use out of it, but I do enjoy this shade right here, Pink Champagne, and as well this Metallic Plum shade. This is what Soft Glam looks like. It's just your typical neutral shades. This is what the Jackie Aina palette looks like. I really do enjoy these shades for my skin tone because they do make my eyes pop, and I really do just love the layout of all these colors. And then the last one here is the Prism. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy this layout, but I did. I feel like you just don't get your typical neutral color shade layout. There's just some creative colors that I just love dipping into in this palette. Alright, so now starting off with the B's, which is BH Cosmetics. I do have quite a bit of theirs just because I do get their palettes so cheap. And as well, they actually do have really good quality. I know for a fact I'm going to start off with this one right here because the Take Me Back to Brazil is one that I'm going to declutter. I feel like I have just so many other colorful palettes in my collection that are way more pigmented. This is more of a starter palette for beginners who want to start off using colors but don't want that extra pigmented shadow on their lid. So I'm definitely going to declutter this one. Then going to my next favorite two, which are the Zodiac palettes. This one is the original. I'm not going to declutter it just because I really do love these baked shadows right here, and as well the mattes. When I use this palette, I'm just never disappointed with my eye look, and I just really enjoy all these shades in this palette. And even though it's a big bulky palette, I still don't mind bringing it out just because, like I said before, I really do enjoy all the eye looks that I come up with when I use it. Now this is the Love Signs. It is a much more warmer tone palette, which again is up my alley. And like I said, it's the same quality, the baked shadows, the mattes, they're all just really great formula in these two eyeshadow palettes. Now this one, to be honest, I picked it up just because I'm a Pisces. And this is what the inside looks like. I do actually enjoy this highlighter. It is actually less powdery than the highlighters in the Zodiac palettes, but To be honest, I think I'm going to put this in the Maybe palette because I need to be realistic. I'm kind of just keeping this because it says Pisces on it. Now the next one that we have here is the Shan XO Remix palette. It's just a palette that has two sides to it. So this is what the first side looks like. Other side looks like. I am going to put this aside because I actually do have another palette that kind of has the same layout. So I need to see which formula I prefer, if this BH Cosmetics or the other eyeshadow palette. But I do enjoy this one. This is just a perfect palette to travel with because you have your neutral shades and then you have those pops of colors that you might want to use from time to time. Now this next palette is the Royal Affair, and this one for sure I am not going to declutter. I do really enjoy using this palette, especially during the winter time. I feel like it just has all those perfect fall wintertime shades, and as well it's really good quality. I know a lot of people don't really necessarily like this layout, but for me, it doesn't bother me. I enjoy just looking at it. And every time that I take this palette out, I always end up coming out with a creative look. And so if an eyeshadow palette does that for me, then I'm definitely going to keep it. Now here we have the Desert Oasis palette. I really do enjoy using this palette, but I'm going to put this on the maybe pile just because it does have a lot of shimmers, which is something that I have quite a lot of. The mattes as well, something I have quite a lot of. If I have another brand that I enjoy more of the formula, I'm definitely going to keep that one versus this one. But this is one of the, like, if I could have 5 neutral palettes, this would be one of them. Just because I tend to use shades like this a lot, and as well it's a bonus when it comes with highlighters. It's like a 2-in-1 type of palette. So I'm definitely going to put this in the maybe. Even though I don't want to, I'm going to say this quite a lot. I need to be realistic. Here we have the Glam Reflection Gilded palette. Again, this is just your typical warm tone shades. I really did enjoy this palette. Again, BH Cosmetics has really stepped up their eyeshadow formula, so that's why it's really hard for me to try to declutter them because the formula is really good. But I would say this is one of the two of the least eyeshadow palettes I've used lately. So I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. Alright, so now going into the B's. This is the only Bobbi Brown eyeshadow palette that I have. I have been using it lately and I do enjoy it. I wish there was more of a lighter crease shade, but these shades right here, these glitter shades, are quite unique. I do hate using this one, but this is such an easy travel palette to use that I'm going to keep it. I also keep the plastic because that way it keeps that glitter shade contained. Now for this, the Balm eyeshadow palette, I am going to put this on my vanity to give it one more try just to see how I end up liking it. If I do end up enjoying the quality of it, then I'm going to keep it. Now going into the next brand, which is Bad Habit. This is the brand that used to be sold on, what was that website called? I forgot. If I remember, I'll link it. Well, I'll put it right here on the screen. But they no longer make makeup. Supposedly they say that this brand is alter ego now. Basically this brand would do dupes for higher end palettes, and they were very, very inexpensive, and the quality was actually pretty good. For this one right here is the Artistry palette. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Mario and Anastasia palette. So I am going to keep this one. Now this is what the inside looks like. It's just your typical matte crease shades, and then as well all these shimmer shades right here. I do really enjoy this palette, and I take this with me whenever I travel a lot because I'm more into the neutral eye look nowadays. Well, actually I'm into the quick type of makeup nowadays, so I do also tend to use this as a highlighter. Now this Bad Habit Retro Love palette, this is a dupe for the Subculture palette. I actually really do enjoy as well the layout of these deep shades right here, these mattes. To be honest, I don't use this one a lot. I am going to, let's see, compare this to the other eyeshadow palettes that I already kept. Yeah, so these two deep burgundies that I always tend to call my name, they're the same shade. I do enjoy this deep mustard shade more than those two up there. Yeah, so looking at this, I do enjoy the BH Cosmetic formula way more than this one in this Bad Habit palette, because this one is just too powdery for my liking, and I do find myself that I have to sit there and really work to get some pigment. So even though I did have fun using it, I'd rather keep these two. Now going to the next one, this is the Athena palette. I believe this is a dupe for, to be honest, I don't even know. So this is supposed to be a dupe for the Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette. I'll put a picture somewhere here in the corner. I mainly picked this palette up not because it was a dupe, but because I actually do enjoy these warm tone shades right here. And this shimmer shade right here was calling my name. I don't own a lot of the big Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes, so that's why I didn't even know it was a dupe for it. I pay no mind to the glitter shades just because it's not really something I tend to go for when I'm trying to do an eyeshadow look. But I do enjoy this eyeshadow palette. I am going to keep it for now just because I don't have anything with this type of layout or these types of really pretty shimmer shades. And to be honest, I'm not the type of person that is going to declutter something just because, unfortunately, it's not being sold anymore. I did purchase this with my own money, and I do really enjoy this palette, so I am going to keep it. Now, this is the Solstice palette. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Natasha Denona palette, I believe so. I do really enjoy this layout. I'm actually going to put this in the maybe pile just because there's two eyeshadow palettes that I can think of on top of my head that kind of have the same shades as this, and like I said before, I really need to minimize on how many eyeshadow palettes I have, since for one, I'm moving, two, I'm not doing as many eyeshadow looks or colorful eyeshadow looks recently, and three, I need to start using up what I do have. And this one right here is the Supernova palette. I'm not sure if this is a dupe for anything. If it is, I'll put it in the corner. I am going to actually open this one, the Pretty Poison, because it also has some similar kind of shades to it. Actually, not really. It's not really that similar. With this eyeshadow palette, I haven't used it as much. Again, the quality is there, and I really do enjoy using these eyeshadow palettes, but I just have so many. I'm actually going to put this in the maybe pile. I'm going to have a huge maybe pile to go through at the end of the video, just to see if there's just anything else that's kind of similar. The only thing that's really calling my name are these shimmer shades right here, and I don't think I have anything like that. I am, however, going to keep this eyeshadow palette because it's still pretty new. I am going to put this also on my vanity just to see how I enjoy the shades, because I need to be realistic. Take a shot every time I say realistic. And I need to see how these colors look on my skin tone. If I really don't like the eyeshadow looks I come up with it, then I am going to declutter this. Now I have this Cult Mania palette, which is a dupe for the Pat McGrath big eyeshadow palettes. I'm not sure of the name, but I do really enjoy using this eyeshadow palette. Even though these shimmer shades are a pain in the butt to use, they actually end up coming out really, really pretty in the eyes. So I don't have anything like these shadows right here, so I am definitely going to keep this. As you can tell how they're a little bit crumbly. That's what I mean, that they're hard to use by. But even then, I mean, I still really enjoy the eyeshadow looks I come up with when I use these shades. And this is the Cult Mystics palette. I haven't been able to use this one much just because these are more of a cool tone type of shades. I tend to go for the more warm tone shades. I feel like cool tones just don't look right on my skin tone. But again, I do really enjoy those shimmer shades. I really need to use this blue one right here. So I am definitely gonna keep this, but I'm gonna put this on my vanity so that way I can get some usage out of this. Now this is one of my favorite palettes from the Bad Habit line. It's the Luna palette. It's basically a dupe for the Norvina palette, I believe. I really do enjoy these shades. The warm tones are just right up my alley. The shimmer shades are really pretty. Since I bought this palette, I just don't see myself actually buying the Norvina one. When it comes to Anastasio shadow formula, I actually prefer the Bad Habit formula because I don't get as much fallout with the shimmers or with the mattes. And since I already had bought this one first, there's just no point in me purchasing the other one. Here we have the Aphrodite palette. I haven't really got a chance to play with this one quite a lot. This is as well a dupe for one of the Huda big palettes. Don't remember which one it is. I'll leave the information in the corner. I mean, it is kind of similar. I do prefer the browns though. So far, I will keep this Aphrodite palette, and I am going to declutter the Supernova one. Now for the last one in the Bad Habit collection, I have the Divine palette. Now this one I believe is a dupe for the Natasha Denona palette. I really do enjoy these shades. They're more on the deeper shades like fall and winter time. So I am definitely going to keep this one. Alright, so now starting off with the C's, we're going to start with this CC Color eyeshadow palette. I actually got this for free when they were having this promotion. I forgot what it was, but this is supposed to be a dupe for one of the Jeffree Star palettes. I haven't had a chance to use it, so I'm definitely going to put this on my vanity. I feel like if I enjoy using this one more, I'll probably keep this one and declutter the Artistry palette from Bad Habit, but I definitely need to dip into this one to see how the formula is. The swatch is pretty promising, so I'll definitely have to see how this eyeshadow palette works. Now this is the only Tarte eyeshadow palette I have. I do really enjoy using it. The shades are really buttery, and these shimmers right here are really pretty. If I don't use this within the next 6 months, I am definitely going to declutter it. I feel like this eyeshadow palette I'm mainly keeping just because of these glitter shades on top and because of the packaging. So this is definitely on the chopping block. Actually, I'm going to put this on my vanity so that way I can get to use it and see if I actually really do enjoy it. Alright, so here we have my ColourPop eyeshadows. To be honest, I really don't think I'm going to declutter any of these just because I really do enjoy the formula, the layouts of these shades, the palettes themselves, and as well, they're just really affordable. Well, I know for sure I'm not going to declutter the California Love or the X's and O's just because I recently purchased these in December. This is what the California Love looks like. It's just, again, typical neutral shades. And the X's and O's, haven't had a chance to use this one either. I'm also going to put this in my vanity so that way I get a chance to use them. And here we have the Zodiac palette. I haven't had a chance to use this one either because I did shop quite a bit, so I definitely want to put this on my vanity to use. This one's not really inspiring any type of eyeshadow looks. The only one that's really pretty in Calling My Name is this Capricorn shade. I am also going to put probably this on the very top of my eyeshadow palettes on my vanity so that way I get to use it and see if I actually like it or not. If it's really not inspiring, to be honest, I'll probably end up decluttering this one. Here we have the Yes Please palette. Well, actually, I really don't know what the name is. Is it Yes Please or Cute AF? This is what it looks like on the inside. This probably will be the only eyeshadow palette that I do declutter, just because now that I'm thinking about it, ColourPop did step up their eyeshadow formula, and this is just not as pigmented as I would hope. Well, its swatch is pigmented, but when you use it on your eyes, it's not as pigmented as I would want it to. So I'm definitely going to declutter this one. I mean, since I decluttered that one, I actually enjoy more. See, these two are very similar. I feel like I'm going to have to use these two to see which one I'm going to declutter. I feel like I'm going to end up decluttering the ColourPop one, but I definitely want to use these one more time just to see, you know, which one I do prefer. Now here we have the My Little Pony palette. I feel like I'm just keeping this more for packaging and as well because it's a collector's item. I did use this like once or twice and I did like the creative shades, so I am definitely going to keep this. I'm not going to get as much usage as I hope, but it's just too cute to declutter, so this one's staying. Now this is the Proceed with Caution palette. It was a Shayla and ColourPop collab. I actually got this as a prize. I won someone's giveaway, which I'm really grateful for that I did. When I opened up this palette, the only really shade that calls my name is this one right here in the center. When I used this shade right here, it was just really, it had too much fallout for my liking. Now, as well, I do enjoy that it comes with a mirror. That's one of the things that I hate about ColourPop's small eyeshadow palettes like this, is that they don't have mirrors. So when I travel, I have to make sure that I have a bigger size mirror to, you know, be able to see my face and stuff. So given that I have a lot of duplicate shades like this, I am going to declutter this one. This one, it's my Pleasure palette. I really did enjoy these shades right here. I feel like these are pretty unique. This is the only one that is very delicate. It does crumble a bit, so you have to be careful when you use it. And what's difficult is that I enjoy using this shade with using my finger, so that's why it looks pretty beat up. But I actually do really enjoy these shades. I do need to use these over here in the corner because I haven't used those. So hopefully I can bring this out soon. Here we have the Good Sport palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. I actually do enjoy these shades. Now, I do find that the shimmer shades tend to have quite a little bit of fallout. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a heavy hand when I use my eyeshadow palettes. Unfortunately, that's just how I am. I wish I could be light-handed because I feel like I wouldn't have such issues with fallout. But I actually do enjoy this layout, and I am going to still keep it around. Now the Sweet Talk palette kind of, got me for the packaging and as well for the neutral shades inside. I feel like if I don't end up using this palette within the next 6 months, then I'm definitely going to declutter it. But I do enjoy this shimmer shade right here. It's just really pretty. I have used this just with this crease shade and just this one dabbed lightly on the lid, and it's just a really beautiful natural shade look that I came up with. It's just really unique to have that in a palette, so I don't know. I wish these two glitters were replaced with more deeper tone pinks, or maybe even like a burgundy shade. Now here we have the Dream Street palette. This one as well, it has really pretty shades, but this is where it gets to the point of where I have too many products that I haven't had a chance to really play with them. I am going to keep this just because I really do enjoy majority of the shades in this palette, so I am going to keep this for now. Now here we have these two eyeshadow palettes. I don't remember what the names of them were, but I did really enjoy the looks that I have made with this eyeshadow palette. I have actually enjoyed more using the eyeshadows versus the pressed glitters, so I really need to stop purchasing palettes that have pressed glitters in them from ColourPop, just because I'm not really geared towards them anymore. And this one right here, I still haven't had a chance to use, which I am going to put on my vanity as well. Plus summer is coming up, so really need to start using some color. Alright, now going to the D's. Here we have this Dominique Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. This is the Celestial Storm one. This is one that I haven't had a chance to play with either. I purchased this, I believe, in December, and the shades really called to me, so I really need to put this on my vanity to play with. And here we have the Desi and Katie Francation palette from Dose of Colors. Now, on top of the packaging being really, really stunning, I actually do really enjoy the shades in here. I wish ColourPop would come out with these types of shimmer shades versus the glitter ones that they tend to try to put in every single eyeshadow palette. I feel like I would be more hesitant on decluttering certain eyeshadow palettes from ColourPop, but the formula is really good on this, and then as well as those shimmer shades are really unique and really pigmented and pretty, so I'm definitely keeping this. Now going into the E's, we have this e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette. This one's more of a natural shade. I did actually really enjoy using this palette. I am going to keep it because this is more on the affordable side, and I definitely want to keep affordable palettes in my collection, even though if there is a couple duplicates. So this is definitely one that I would recommend if you're looking for just a cheap neutral palette. So I'm definitely going to keep this one. Now we have this one from Essence Beautiful eyeshadow palette, and as well we have the Follow Your Heart. When I use these, I really did enjoy them as well. What sucks is that every single time that I use them, I always tend to use both of these together at the same time. So I really need to just pick one. I am going to declutter the Follow Your Heart one and keep the Beautiful one. Now going into the F's, I have these from Face Candy. They're from that same website that I forgot the name off of. And these are supposed to be dupes for higher end eyeshadow palettes. This is the Sahara palette. This is a dupe for the Kylie Jenner eyeshadow palette. I don't remember what the name is. I did really enjoy this one and the shade, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. This is the Amazonia palette. This as well as a dupe for one of the Kylie Jenner palettes. This has more of a creative layout, which I don't have any type of cool tone shades like that. Now, when it comes to certain cool tone shades, I don't know why I'm more inclined to use these really creative shades versus, your typical cool tone browns and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to keep this one. I feel like if I don't get any usage out of it or start using it a little bit more, then I'll definitely declutter it. But for right now, I'm going to keep it. Alright, so now going into the H. Alright, so we have this hard candy palette. It's still brand new. I mainly purchased this because it's supposed to be a dupe for the Nude Huda Beauty. And I've been needing to do a comparison video with these two. So I think I'm still going to keep them. Yeah, that concealer is kind of like dried out. I heard that with this eyeshadow palette that these real pretty shimmer ones, well, not that one, this one, they dry out if you don't use them. And I mean, mine's still good so far, so hopefully I get to use those shades up. So I'm going to keep both, just mostly because I need to do a comparison video. But it's quite sad about those shadows drying out, because that is the main reason why I have kept this eyeshadow palette. I feel like those shades are really unique, and Huda Beauty actually, well, not really, but she kind of started off that trend of that new type of eyeshadow formula, you know what I'm saying? But I guess we'll have to compare these two, see how they do. And then I have these two small Huda Beauty palettes. Now this one also reminds me of that, and to be honest, I did use both of them, and you can get similar eye looks. But since these are so little and so portable and easy, I am going to keep both of these. This one's still going to be on my vanity to try out. Now going into the J's, we're going to start off with the Jeffree Star Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes I have. I have the mini jawbreaker and the large jawbreaker. And this is what it looks like. I haven't had a chance to play with it that much, so I'm still going to keep it. I do really like the layout of these shades, and actually this purple is really stunning. So I really need to, you know, use it. Now as far as the big jawbreaker, I'm also going to keep this one. This is just a really fun palette to use. I feel like when it comes to my color palettes, I do like this formula just a little bit better. It is much easier to blend. You do have to pack it on, but I prefer this formula so far. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind if I see some other colored eyeshadow palettes. Now going into my Juvia's Place, I also do enjoy this formula. It's just really hard because I do enjoy these brands. So even though that there's some duplicate shades, I still enjoy the eyeshadow palettes as well. So that's why I find myself very hard to declutter duplicate palettes. So with this one, I am going to still keep because I did actually enjoy using this one. And then the Masquerade Mini, I haven't had a chance to use it as much. So I am going to put this on the side on my vanity so that way I can use. Now these two eyeshadow palettes from J-Cat Beauty, I'm not sure if they still sell them or not, but I really do love these eyeshadow palettes. I mean, the layouts are just so perfect. This is just a perfect neutral shade. The eyeshadows are just really soft. The shimmers are really shimmery as well. I really did enjoy using this palette. This is definitely a palette that a beginner can definitely enjoy because you're not getting those lackluster shades where, you know, the mattes are barely there and the shimmers are barely there as well. So I'm definitely still going to keep this one. And then this one is the Majestic Galaxy. This one as well is just really stunning. I know I have an eyeshadow palette that has similar shades like this already. I can think of two, but I only own two J-Cat Beauty palettes, so I'm definitely going to keep them still in my collection. And then here we have the Jouer Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. To be honest, I did really enjoy using this eyeshadow palette, but when I open it, it's not really giving me those like, ooh, I need to keep you kind of vibes as actually the J-Cat Beauty one did. But as you can tell, the eyeshadow formula from Jouer is really, well, from this eyeshadow palette, it is really pigmented, really soft, and easy to use. But I'm actually going to, unfortunately, declutter this one. Now going into the K's, we have this one from Clara Cosmetics. Now this one right here is your perfect to go eyeshadow palette. I really did enjoy using this one. The shades, you know, it's just a really good eyeshadow palette. But to be honest, I'm going to declutter it. I have a lot of these shades duplicated. Even though I did enjoy using it, I just have too many alike. As you can tell, it's really pigmented. Now going to Kylie Cosmetics, I did purchase this eyeshadow palette when it went on sale at Ulta Beauty. And the times that I did use it, I actually was quite surprised that I liked it. I didn't think that at first the formula was all that great, but as more time I used it, it was okay. I mean, I would definitely not pay $65 for this eyeshadow palette, so I'm definitely glad I got this on sale for, I think it was like 20 something dollars. And this is one of the newer palettes from her line that I picked up. Again, it had went on sale at Ulta Beauty. I haven't had a chance to play with this yet, just because I did purchase this whenever I was doing some Christmas shopping. I am going to try it out. Hopefully the eyeshadow formula is a little bit better than the Sipping Pretty palette, and if it is, then I'm definitely going to keep it. Now going to my Kat Von D palettes, I have this metal matte eyeshadow palette. This shadow right here has gone a little weird. I don't understand why it's kind of like drying out or something, but I mean it's still pigmented. But I am going to declutter it because I haven't pulled this out in a long time, and it's not really giving me any type of creative look vibes. Now here we have this Fetish palette. I did purchase this on sale when it went on a discount price at Sephora, and I actually did enjoy this eyeshadow palette. These are more deeper shades that I normally would not reach out to. I really did enjoy this gold shade right here, as well as this red shimmer shade. They're really pretty and unique. This silver one too was really calling my name, even though I typically don't go for silvers. I am going to keep this just for a little bit longer. If I don't end up pulling it out within the next 6 months, then I think I am going to end up decluttering it. Now getting into the L's. Now starting off with the Lorac Unzipped. This is one of a few of the oldest eyeshadow palettes that I own in my collection. I am still going to keep it. I really do enjoy using this eyeshadow palette. You can't go wrong with just having a typical neutral palette. It is getting to that point where it is going to start, I have to start making sure that this palette, well, this formula doesn't irritate my eyes, because it is getting a little old. But I really do enjoy it, and I'm a little attached to it, so I can't get rid of it yet. Now here we have the Lorac Luxe Diamond palette. I really do enjoy Lorac's eyeshadow formula. I feel like you can't go wrong with it. Like it's never going to disappoint. It's been consistent with all the eyeshadow palettes that I always pick up. The mattes super soft, the shimmers, you know, it's just a really good brand. So I'm still going to keep this one a little bit longer. I do enjoy these 3 shades down here, especially this red one, and I haven't used it. I haven't had a chance to use it that many times either. Here we have the Lorac Shine Bright palette. Now this one right here, I picked it up because it was on a sale. Again, nothing's wrong with it, but some of these eyeshadow palettes, you know, the colors are a little bit bland for me. I should have paid more attention that, you know, this was something that I probably wasn't going to use as much, especially since I don't really go for these types of cool tone shades right here in the corner. So I am going to declutter this. Now here we have the Lorac Unzipped Unfiltered palette. This one I haven't had a chance to play with that much. It does have this unique pink shade that it's kind of like a duochrome. Definitely want to get the chance to use this a little bit more, so I'm still going to keep this. Now going into these 2 LA Girl Hot Heat palettes. This is a really good formula from the drugstore. I do really enjoy these eyeshadow palettes. I am going to keep both of them because they're really affordable, and they're still pretty new to my collection. You do also have to be careful with these shimmers because they are really creamy, but do you see that? It's really pigmented, so definitely gonna keep these 2. Now going into these single brands, this is from Laura Geller. This actually, I really did enjoy the formula. It's just your typical neutral shade, but to be honest, I am going to declutter it because I just have too many neutral palettes. But again, if I didn't have that many, I would definitely still keep it because this does remind me kind of the layout of the Lorac Unzipped. Now this one's from Laura Mercier. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to declutter this one because it's still new to my collection and I haven't had a chance to use it. I am going to try it out, see if I like it. It's basically all shimmer, so I'm still going to try it out first and then see if I'm going to declutter it. Now this is the Laura Lee Nudie Patootie palette. I did pick this up when her palette went on sale and I really do enjoy these shades. Her eyeshadow formula is actually pretty good. This shade right here is so pretty. her mattes blend so easily, so I'm definitely still keeping this palette. Even though that is pretty huge, again, I'm not that type of person that minds, you know, having to take out this huge palette. That's one of the reasons why I bought it. Love the packaging, and as well love the formula inside of it. Now going into the M's, I'm going to start off with this Melt Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. I'm still going to keep this one. I do really enjoy the layout of it. And plus, this is the only Melt Cosmetics eyeshadow palette that I have, so I'm still going to keep it. Now, this Maybelline one, I actually really did enjoy this one. The mattes were really good. The shimmers as well. I did enjoy this red shade right here. So I am going to keep this one, but most likely since I have room now in my drawer with the other small drugstore palettes, I'm going to put that one in there. Now we have the Barely There 2 from Model's Own. I do really like the formula, and there's nothing wrong with this palette, but to be honest, I just have so many of them. Plus I have so many single eyeshadows as well from Makeup Geek that look quite the same as that. So I'd rather prefer just keep my Makeup Geek eyeshadow palette than this one. So this is from MAC. This is the only eyeshadow palette I have from them. This really looks like the Ace Beauty one. So I am going to use both of them and from there go to see which one I prefer, the MAC or the Ace Beauty, this one, eyeshadow palette. But really need to use this one a little bit more. Now starting off with Milani, we have the Bold Obsessions palette. I really did enjoy this eyeshadow palette when I bought it, but I am going to declutter it now because I do have other formulas that I prefer with these shades. This one right here is really pretty, but it's just too crumbling for my liking, as well as with this orange shade and this shimmer shade right here in the corner, which are the ones that I like to use quite a lot. So I am unfortunately going to declutter this one. Here we have the Milani Gilded Ember palette. I did really enjoy this eyeshadow palette, especially this highlighter right here. So I am still going to keep this. I haven't had a chance to use this really pretty shade right here, which I'm excited to use. So I'm definitely going to still keep this for another round. Then we have the Milani, which one's this one? The Gilded Rouge palette. This one right here, I did have fun using it, mainly because of these shades right here. Again, not really interested in these glitters that much just because I don't really go towards that right now, but I am still going to keep it. I did declutter that other Milani palette, so I'm going to keep this. Next is my Makeup Geek eyeshadow palette. This one is the one in Bloom. I shouldn't have removed the names in the back, but this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. Just has these really pretty purples, these shimmers. I really do enjoy Makeup Geek's eyeshadow formula, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. This one is the one in Flourish, which is also really pretty. I do want to use these greens up a little bit more. Alright, so going to this one, this is all Makeup Geek eyeshadows as well, but these are ones that I just bought single and I just created my own palette. So I'm going to keep this one as well. So now going to Morphe. I received this as a gift, and I actually really did enjoy this 9-pan eyeshadow palette. I do need to put this one with my small ones, my small eyeshadow palettes, because I do tend to want to travel with this one a lot, but I do forget to grab it because I have it mixed in with these large palettes. So I'm going to keep this one. This large Morphe palette is the 35OM, I believe. This one I have had for a while. I am going to declutter. I just have too many neutrals to even bother to keep this, so this one's gone. This is actually one of the newer Morphe palettes, the 39S, that I picked up a while ago. I haven't had a chance to play with it. It's the purple, yeah, the purple one. I'm not even gonna bother with this. It's still brand new. I am going to declutter it. I have these purple shades that I feel like I'm gonna either way prefer in my Makeup Geek eyeshadow palettes, and as well I just already have neutral shades that I do like. So this one, yeah, I'm just gonna declutter it. I do have quite a bit of these Makeup Revolution palettes, so I'm going to start off with this one. This one I did really enjoy. It's an all matte palette. I mean, it was just perfect because it had those neutral shades that I used a lot. But again, I have these so many times. I'm just going to declutter it. So with this one, let's see. I mean, they are different. I do really like that purple one right there. This is the Visionary palette. These are actually really decent quality for being $7, especially since you can grab 2 or 3 of these and then use the $350 off coupon from Ulta. This one I think I'm still gonna keep because I feel like I can still make quite a few different eyeshadow looks with it. This one right here is the Velvet Rose. The main reason why I picked up the Soft Glam, this is supposed to be a dupe for it. I did really enjoy it. I feel like maybe I'll just do some picture comparisons and still keep it just in case, so I'm gonna keep it. This one right here is the Division palette. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Subculture one. I am gonna actually declutter this one because with these shades you actually get hard pan much quicker than the other ones, so I was pretty disappointed with that. So I'm gonna declutter this one. This one's the Neutrals 2. I did enjoy this one as well, and I am going to keep it just because I really do enjoy all these shades, and it's one of the palettes that I still reach for. Now this one right here was a gift with purchase from Ulta. Let's see, doesn't say what the name of it is, but I actually really did enjoy these shimmers are really nice. I'm gonna keep this for a little bit longer. I do get joy out of it, and I still also pick it up, especially for this highlighter shade right here. Oh, the name's in the front. Pierce as Fire. Now here we have the Self X, well, the Makeup Revolution and Self X collab. I also did enjoy these shades quite a lot. This one's really hard because they're typical shades that I already have and duplicates. The mattes and the shimmers are actually really good on this palette. I think I'm still going to keep it because I do still enjoy it, and I did actually end up using it about a week ago. Now this one is I Heart Revolution. I get confused on what the difference is between this one and Makeup Revolution. This one was actually really pretty, and I did actually enjoy it, but I am going to declutter it because I'm mostly keeping it for the packaging, but I already have the Ciate one that I'm keeping that I would rather use a little bit more than this one, so I am going to declutter it, even though it's so pretty. Now this one right here is really colorful. I was trying to put this in rotation to use, so I am still going to do that. I only got a chance to swatch them. I am going to put this as well on my vanity, so that way I get to see what the quality is and if I like it or not. Now here we have the Emily Edit, the Wants palette. I know a lot of people are like, this palette is just bleh, but I really actually like it. What I'm thinking of doing is depotting all these shades and putting it in a palette because I feel like I'll get more use out of it, because now this one is a little bit too bulky for my liking. So I feel like if I do depot it, I will get a chance to enjoy it a little bit more. The quality is not bad. It reminds me of it kind of reminds me a little bit of Makeup Revolution, of Makeup Geek's eyeshadow formula, and this is such a really good beginners friendly palette as well, so I'm definitely going to keep it and hopefully depot it soon. Now with this one, I can kind of say I don't think I'm going to declutter any of these, but here we have the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I'm not going to declutter this just yet. I did enjoy using it. I feel like I wish there was just a little bit more pigmentations on this yellow right here, so I'm going to keep it for now. This is the only palette I have from Nautilus Cosmetics. I have been wanting to use it. It's still, I believe, brand new. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, so I am going to put this on my vanity. Now this is the NARS Make Up Your Mind palette. I really do enjoy this palette. I actually do really like NARS face products. The eyeshadows are actually really good. I do need to start using this a little bit more than usual, and especially bringing it out when I do travel because of these blushes and this contour shade that works out for me. So for this NYX Off Tropic eyeshadow palette, now this is more of a pigment eyeshadow palette. These pigments actually do not irritate my eyes, so I'm pretty glad about that. I do like the shades. They are a bit unique. They are unique, and if I'm ever wanting a colorful look, I can kind of go for this, but to be honest, I think I am going to declutter it because I just have all these shades and palettes already. But it is a really good pigmented palette though. Now here's the NYX Grind. What is this one called? Yeah, it's called the Grind palette. I actually prefer this palette compared to the Subculture dupes that I own. I know a lot of people didn't like this formula, but it actually ended up working out for me, so I am still gonna keep. Now for these two large NYX palettes, I can't bring myself to get rid of them just yet. I do want to use this one just a little bit more just to see how I do like the quality of the brights in here. I actually did really enjoy this formula, so hopefully it's the same for this one, but I can't get rid of these just yet. Now going off to the P's, here we have the Profusion Mixed Metals palette. This one is actually pretty good. I'm quite sad that I might declutter this. No, I'm not. I'm actually not. I want to get to a chance to use it just a little bit more because I actually really do like the formula of Profusion eyeshadow palette, so I'm going to keep this. This one is called Glam. Again, I haven't had a chance to use this one, so I am going to put it on my vanity. I did purchase this from TJ Maxx. It was quite inexpensive. Yeah, it was $3.99. So it does look promising, and those shimmers look really pretty. So I do want to get a chance to play with these shimmers before I get rid of it or see how the formula is. So if it's not any good, then I am going to declutter it. This one is called the Royals palette. This one is actually pretty good as well. It has good pigmentation on these mattes, and these shimmers as well are really, really pretty. I kind of don't want to get rid of this just yet. Yeah. I'm just not ready to let go of this one. Now this one right here is called the Chocolates palette. This one actually I am going to get rid of. The pigmentation is still good on these eyeshadow palettes as well, but I feel like this one is just too big for my liking, and as well it has all these browns that I really already own in other palettes, and I just need to really declutter some. So this one's gonna go. Now going into Physicians formula. These are really debatable. They are good, but they are a hassle to work with, especially like this green one right here. It's just really flaky, but it's just really, really pretty. I actually did enjoy both, so I am going to keep them. I know I'm doing pretty bad right now. Now going on to Pure. This is the Pure and Barbie eyeshadow palette. I'm definitely not going to get rid of this. This actually has really good pigmentation on it. I used it and I really did enjoy it. The only thing is, like, again, I just wish it didn't have, well, the glitters in this palette are more packed versus the other eyeshadow palettes, like the ColourPop ones and stuff like that. But this one I did enjoy, so I am still going to keep it. This is the Pure Festival palette. This one kind of looks like the Barbie one. I really did like this shade right here. I mean, some Pure eyeshadow palettes they are hit and miss for a lot of people, but for me, I've had really good luck on picking out certain eyeshadow palettes, and the quality is there, so I'm gonna put this on the maybe pile. This is the Pure Creator palette. These eyeshadows are actually really, really pigmented. It did also come with a highlighter, but since I used it a couple, I think like last week I used it, and I have it in a single palette, that's why it's missing. But this is really good quality. I really did enjoy these eyeshadows as well. They're really, really pigmented, so I'm still gonna keep this one. Now going to my Pat McGrath palettes. To be honest, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of any of these. I'm for sure not gonna get rid of this one. I do like these shades. This one is called the Mothership Sublime palette. I don't think they sell them anymore. I did pick them up when they went on sale at Sephora for like 50 to 75% off. This one's called the Submerse palette. I haven't had a chance to play with this one either. But to be honest, since it has a pink and purple, I am going to get rid of this Pure Festival palette. And this last one right here is called the Bronze Admission. And this one as well, I'm not going to get rid of. It's just your typical neutral shades. And I really do like the formula. Now going to Rude Cosmetics. This is the only eyeshadow palette I own from them. I really didn't actually enjoy using this one. Just because this is an indie brand, I am going to keep it. I don't have a lot of indie brands in my collection, so I am not going to get rid of it. Now going to the S's. This is from Sleek. And I haven't even had a chance to play with this one either. The colors are actually really, really pretty. So I am going to keep this on my vanity to give it a try out. to try it out. They are actually really promising. So yeah, so I am going to keep this and put this on my vanity. Here we have these Smashbox palettes. This is the Canyon Eye palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. I am going to keep it because I haven't had a chance to play with this one that much. And this is the Majors Metals palette, and I actually have tried this out and I did enjoy it, so I am going to keep it as well. Now going on to Stila. This is the medium tan eyeshadow palette. I really do enjoy these blushes. I feel like I need to just put this with my blushes in order for me to get more use out of them, because I did forget about it. And I am thinking of depotting these two shades and possibly putting like a brown and a highlighter shade, because this one is just, it's just too bright for my liking, and it's not the type of shade that I go for my lid or anything like that. So I'll probably do that so that way I can get more use out of it. And this is the Stila After Hours palette. Again, haven't had a chance to play with this one that much. I do enjoy this shade right here, but it is a little too flaky for me. I don't know, this one's hard. I think I'm gonna put this on my vanity and use it, see how I feel about it, and if I'm just not feeling it, then I am gonna declutter it. Now going to the next two brands that I have quite a little bit of, Too Faced and Tarte. We're gonna start off with Too Faced. This is the Pretty Rich palette. I really did enjoy the pressed glitters on this one, even though I normally don't tend to go for them, but they actually did stay on almost all day. And I didn't have to use, I believe I didn't even have to use a glitter glue with these. So I am going to keep this still. Here we have the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. This one I really did enjoy the layout of them and the shades. I didn't have an issue using this one, so I'm still going to keep it. Now this is the Too Faced Life's a Festival palette. I have been meaning to try this one out a little bit more. The shades are really pretty, and it was just a palette that I just had to have because of the packaging. Even though it's like little kids packaging, I really did like it. So I am going to keep this. Now here we have the Too Faced Chocolate Gold. It's just basically all these shimmers. They are really pretty. I do need to start using this a little bit more. So hopefully with this declutter, I'll start bringing out these eyeshadow palettes so I can get more usage out of them. I found more Too Faced. So I did find the Chocolate Bar palette. This one I'm not going to get rid of just because it is also one of the oldest eyeshadow palettes in my collection. It's still pretty good. The formula is still there, so I'm not going to throw it out yet. I did use it quite a lot and I did enjoy it, so keeping it. Then here we have the Tutti Frutti Sparkling Pineapple palette. Really did love the packaging. As far as for the products inside, they are these two. Well, this shade is really finicky to use, but it's really pretty once it is applied, and as well as this one. The mattes, even though that they seem that they're going to be hard on in the pan, they actually really buttery smooth, so definitely still going to keep this one. This one is still new, the White Peach palette. I've had this for quite a while in my collection. I've been meaning to use it. I do have a section near my vanity to where I put all these new eyeshadow palettes as soon as I get them so I can use them, and that's where this one has been at. So I am going to try using it, seeing what the quality is like. I am drawn to these shades right here, so it's not like if I don't like it. So hopefully I do like the looks I come up with, and if I don't, I'm just going to end up decluttering it. So now going to Tarte. I'm going to start off with this one because this is something that I've had forever. I was trying to put this on, I was trying to pan this eyeshadow palette because I did use it quite a lot, but I think I'm still going to keep it because I just have so much sentimental attachment to this. So I'm going to keep it. This is the... which one's this one? This is the Sizzle palette. I actually really did enjoy this one in the shimmers. They have really pretty pinks. Normally I don't tend to go for colors like this, but when I used it, I really did enjoy it, so I'm still going to keep it. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palette. Definitely going to keep. Haven't used it enough to want to declutter it yet. This is the Tarteist Pro Remix palette. I haven't had a chance to play with this that much, but I am going to put this on my vanity because I need to use it, but I'm not ready to let this one go yet. Now here we have the Tarte Shape Your Moneymaker palette. This is just a perfect palette to travel with, so I am going to keep it. If I have room in the drawer with my smaller eyeshadow palettes, I think I am going to put that in there, because it does tend to just hide with all my big eyeshadow palettes, and I really did enjoy this palette. Now this is for all you warm tone lovers. This is the Tartelette Toasted palette. This one I'm not going to get rid of, even though I should. I do have a lot of neutrals, but it's just something that I can easily pull out and travel with whenever I just want to be having just an easy eye look day. So I'm just not going to get rid of it. This is from their holiday collection from this past year in December. I actually like the layout. A lot of people didn't. I really do like how you can take these out and put it in this little to-go palette. And plus that little to-go palette has a mirror as well. So I'm excited to use these marble shades. See how it is. The blushes are also really wearable, so it's not like anything crazy that I won't be able to get to use. So I really need to use these eyeshadows to see what how the formula is. Now this is just a random Tetris by Ipsy palette. The quality was okay, but I just own too many eyeshadows to even bother to keep this, so I'm going to declutter it. Now for Urban Decay, to be honest, I'm not going to get rid of any of these. I have, of course, the original Naked palette. This was I think this is actually one of the first high-end palettes that I did own. So I'm still going to keep it. The formula is still not bad. And it hasn't irritated my eyes. I did use this about like 2 weeks ago. So I'm still going to keep it. Now the Born to Run palette as well. It's a really good formula, and I should really start using this a little bit more. So I'm definitely going to keep it and try to remember to bring it out. This is the Urban Decay Beached eyeshadow palette. Now this one, I was really drawn to it for the colors, for especially these blue ones right here. I think I'm gonna try to use it a couple more times and then end up decluttering it, but so far I just can't declutter it right now. Here we have the Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. Yes, it has such bulky packaging, but these shimmers are just really pretty. I really shouldn't keep this because I also have the Tarte and the Urban Decay shimmer palette, but I feel like they're so different when you apply them to the eye, so I'm just still gonna keep this one. Then we have this small Aphrodisiac palette. This is such a cute palette to go. I really need to as well put this with my small eyeshadow palettes, because it has all the shades that I would typically go for when I'm traveling. Just the crease shades, a dark shade for my outer corner, and as well for my upper lash line, and some shimmer shades right here. So I'm still going to keep this. Now going to the last two palettes. We have the Violet Voss. This is the Berry Burst palette. Now this is what the inside of it looks like. It's really hard because I really do like the formula from Violet Voss. I know I have these shades already. I'm just going to declutter it because I know I have these shades in the Bad Habit, that one palette that I'm trying to keep that's a dupe for the Huda palette. So I am going to declutter this one. And this one is the Violet Voss Like a Boss palette. I'm definitely not going to declutter this one. I do need to start bringing it out more. Again, I do like the Violet Voss formula. I feel like I can be a heavy hand with it and not have fall out all over my face. So I'm definitely going to still keep this one around. So I'm horrible, and I did end up keeping all of these. Alright, so this looks, well, to be honest, you probably are like, Melly, it looks exactly the same, but it's not. So before, I used to have palettes that were actually in the very back of these, so you couldn't see them. I like how I have this little decoration going on right here with those eyeshadow palettes. This right here I do need to fix because those are some of my single shadows, as well as with some of my like travel face stuff. I also need to go through this and organize it. I'm telling you guys, I just have too much stuff that now when I'm going through my nesting phase of my pregnancy, I'm like, I need to organize it. So I do want to point out, this is what I keep on my vanity right there. So these are all new eyeshadow palettes that I have not really got a chance to play with, or I've only used once. This pile right here, I'm going to try to see if I can fit in that little bucket right there, because that's where I keep my smaller eyeshadow palettes. So hopefully those can fit. If not, I'm going to have to try to see if I can put them on here. And then this pile is as well, this is the eyeshadow palette that I want to try to pan this year. And then these as well are new. They just didn't fit on here. I'm just going to have them standing up next to it, because one of the things that I promised myself is that I am not going to buy no more eyeshadow palettes until I use all these at least 3 times, or maybe 2. Now this pile right here, these are the ones that are on the chopping block, the ones that I need to try out one more time to see if I like them or not. And then lastly, these are all the eyeshadow palettes that I'm decluttering. I know it's not a lot compared to what I kept, but again, I actually do really enjoy eyeshadow palettes. I do enjoy using them, so it's not like they're going to go completely to waste. I'm going to try to keep note to myself in 6 months to go through my eyeshadow palettes again, so that way I can see if there's any more that I haven't used, like I said throughout the video, that I'm going to have to get rid of. So I did have in total 143 eyeshadow palettes, and I kept 121, and I decluttered 22 eyeshadow palettes. There is 9 that are on the chopping block, so we'll see how that goes and if I got rid of any of those next time I do a declutter. I have had a lot of questions from you guys asking what am I doing with my makeup. I do have a lot of family members and friends that have been digging through my box of my used makeup and some of my new. Now for some of the new makeup that I have, like for example this eyeshadow palette right here that I have not used and it's too late for me to return, I am going to be selling that. If you are interested in buying it, then definitely let me know down below, so that way I can get in contact with you, because I do have some Facebook pages where I actually post my stuff and try to get rid of the new makeup that I purchased that I just don't want to lose out money on it completely. But as far as all this used stuff, like I said, I do have family members and friends that have been enjoying recently my declutters because they've been getting free makeup. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this long video of eyeshadow palettes being decluttered. Let me know down below, what is your favorite thing to hoard from your makeup collection. I feel like I hoard everything. I can't even sit here and say that I hoard one thing more than the other, because as I'm looking through all my makeup, I have quite a lot of everything. So definitely with this declutter, it has opened my eyes that I have plenty of enough makeup that I do not need to be purchasing anything right now, unless, no, there's no unless. There's no unless. I do not need to be purchasing no makeup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and as well turn on the post notifications so that way you don't miss any future uploads. We'll see you on the next declutter.